Hey, Fanboy Nation.
This is your pal Daffy Duck, and you're watching.
We're watching
You're watching Fanboy.
Fanboy,
fanboy, etc.
Fanboy Nation.
Dot, I assume Tom.
These two men are a part of a film called First Friday that they pulled off with only $30,000, and it will be making its South Texas premiere at the 31st annual San Antonio Film Festival on Friday, July 25th at 7 p.m. I am here with Jawsh Ojeda and T-Rex Sweeney. Gentlemen, how are you?
Doing great. Hi guys, I'm Jawsh Ojeda. I'm the writer-director of First Friday.
And I'm Rex. I'm the executive producer. I help put the project together on the management side. So very excited to see.
Well, I got to see the movie, and you guys pulled this off with $30,000. The last person that did something like this was in the 90s with Kevin Smith and Clerks, and he had to do it in black and white because it was still on film for 20 grand. So adjusted for inflation, he's over 100,000. You guys made it in 30, so congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's funny you said that because Kevin Smith is like the biggest inspiration. The reason why we even wanted to even attempt to do this. It was just a whole. I went to Vancouver Film School, the same film school as Kevin, and pretty much about his story, him dropping out and him making it at home with his friends and basically going in depth. I think that was like one of the biggest like motivations to like say, okay, we can do that too. Because I think with like First Friday, it was just I had to save up $30,000 in 3 years, just moving back with my grandma's house. Luckily, she's like rent free, and it was just like, okay, I'm just saving up each check, and I was just like, I wanted to make a film at 27, and it's because of Kevin Smith, like you said, or even a Richard Linklater with Slacker as well, and that was like, to me, I know it's possible. I say it's harder nowadays with like, I feel short content like TikToks or social media that it's easy to get bits here and there, but there's nothing greater than a feature film, and or like just a film in general, especially when it's about like people you know or people you hang around with. And I think, yeah, it's just interesting. Yeah, I love Kevin Smith. I'm a big fan of Kevin Smith.
You know, there's one, I'm only going to give one spoiler, and it was unintentionally funny, at least to me. All right. And I believe it's Vanessa's character where, excuse me, 1 second, because I have my notes, so I want to make sure I got it right. Where Vanessa and Trey are hooking up, and then she gets mad at him because he doesn't want a relationship with her. And she does the ultimate gaslight line, and this is the only spoiler I'm giving, where she says that he doesn't have the emotional maturity to date a sex worker. And I thought that was the funniest thing because anyway, that line, because my friends and I have had this conversation before on how could you, like look at yourself in the mirror if everybody's already seen your girl naked. And then there's the meme that keeps going around where the guy tells her, oh, I would go out with you, but I'm not going to spend, $200 and 3 hours of my night when I can see you unclothed for $7 now. And so, the combination of that, like the line is unintentionally funny because it's, conversations we've all had, but it was a very gaslighting line that she used to try to guilt him into being in a relationship with her.
It's funny you bring that up, man. I've had a lot of people.
No, 100%. I would even say that, especially like living in Vegas, like it's the people.
Oh yeah, no, it's just fun. I've spoken to a lot of people that have very similar sentiments about that conversation, and they've had that little conversation with, especially being out here in Vegas. A lot of our friends are sex workers or work in the adult entertainment industry, so it was very funny to catch that parallel. It's dope that you pointed that out, man.
Yeah, so that line right there is going to open up a ton of conversations from the film, and yeah, like I said, unintentionally funny because we've had those conversations, but it is a legit gaslight moment. Yeah. Take us through the film itself.
We've all been in those relationships. I think it's just like toxic.
Well, there are a lot of toxic relationships, and people, will base everything on emotion instead of logic, so that's how it goes. But with the film itself, Vegas, you guys hit every landmark that is off the strip, which I really commend you for, because I was in Vegas 2 weeks ago. You're at the Pinball Museum. You're downtown, you're all over the place. You're near the neon grave. What's it called? The neon graveyard. You know, Area 15 is not necessarily shown, but it's implied. Like there's so much going on that is central to Las Vegas off the Strip, because we only usually think about Vegas as tourists of the Strip and Fremont Street. How important was it to showcase the rest of Vegas?
Thank you for bringing that up, RC. I really appreciate that you noticed that, because that was the whole like premise or theme of the First Friday film. Is because when you think of like a New York film, you don't think about Times Square, you think about the communities. You think about Bronx, Harlem, Queens. And I think when you think about Las Vegas, you only think about like the mafia or strippers or the Strip in general.
Right.
So we really wanted to make sure we made a story where of the community that grew up here, how we grew up here as locals as well, and how like the only time you see the Strip from the movie is from a park or from a neighborhood.
Right.
So that way you understand that, hey, we don't live in casinos, we don't live in hotels, we live in these homes, we live in these communities that are full of talented individuals.
Right.
And we still have like all these really amazing places that they don't feel like LA, but they feel like home to us.
I got you. Gentlemen, can you hold on one moment, please? I have to pause the interview real quick. I'll be right back.
No
Absolutely. You're good, brother.
Gentlemen, I'm back. Sorry about that. There's some home maintenance going on that we need to take care of. You were saying, I'm sorry, regarding, the Strip as something far off from the rest of the city.
Yeah, basically we wanted to make sure that the city itself was a character as well, of how the dangers, not the danger, but the chaos of Las Vegas unravels into the neighborhoods as well, of any situation possible, especially when it's so easy to like lose your money or get money here in Las Vegas. And I think that's almost like the reason or the premise behind the characters, of just like they're just trying to manifest their way out of Las Vegas, because they're just like anyone that's from their hometown. I think that naturally you just want to leave. You just want to try to get out.
Right. Especially when there's so much hardship with the characters themselves.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Especially, we grew up in the art district here in Los and
Josh, you're breaking up
it's
just a
all
little
these
bit.
local talented kids. They're like whether they're filmmakers or painters, grabbing off the. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Am I better?
Yeah, you were just breaking
Okay.
up just a little bit, so.
Oh, my bad. But yeah, it's like basically we just wanted to make sure we had the right picture of the kids that live here, and we can show them on the big screen, because when it comes to Las Vegas kids, we've never seen them on the big screen.
Right. And T, take us through the casting of this. You're the executive producer. You're the big financier behind all of this. Like, how does the casting come about? How does working with Josh come together? Like, have you guys known each other for quite a while? Like, what was the catalyst for all of this?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, as far as casting goes, we got super lucky. A lot of our entire cast almost is all musicians, damn near. They're all guys and girls that, really operate within the arts district and exist within the ecosystem naturally. So Josh putting them together on screen it was a match made in heaven. We got really lucky with our lead actress, Candice Joy. We actually found her about 4 weeks before we started production. And this whole thing was a train that was falling apart the entire time. We were just trying to hold it together. Yeah. We got super lucky with every location we had. And seeing the way that everything came together was beautiful. Josh and I had worked together in the past. We used to work for a brand out here called For the Culture, and it operated out of the Union House, which is the building that's mentioned in the opening crawl of the film, where Tiana's talking about this building being torn down to become a parking lot. And that really did happen. We got bought out by a big business, and our brand had to shut down. But while we worked at the brand, we were covering local bands, local rappers, DJs, throwing shows. And I was the media producer for that project. And Josh and I just had a natural working relationship. And Josh brought me on about a month and a half before we rolled film on First Friday. And I was able to help lock down some last minute locations and just do a lot of production coordinating and stuff like that. Being an executive producer on an indie project of this sort of Size just means you kind of do everything. I was saving lives left and right. There wasn't a moment where it was chill. There was always a moment of craziness. We shot it in only 7 days. We had 2 pickup days about a month later. But yeah, no, it was as bare bones as possible, as indie as possible. Shot it as guerrilla as possible. There are some crazy stories from set that I wish I could repeat, but I can't. We got
We'll
it
save
done.
that when we're together in San Antonio for after the
Yeah,
screening.
I've got a wild one for you, brother.
Okay. When you
have
get
to.
like when you sit there and you hear the number 30,000, which is like, a car essentially today. Like you made a movie for the price of a car.
Man,
And then people are going to get to see this hour-and-a-half film and see the quality and production that you put into it. Like you're going to get either a lot of jealousy or a lot of hopeful people that are like, oh man, if they pulled it off, I can do it too. Because this does not look like, the price of a Honda Civic that's fully loaded.
it's so funny you bring that up. On our first production meeting, Josh told me how much he was spending on this project, and I sent him a picture of a $30,000, I think it was a Honda Civic, and I sent it to him totaled. And I was like,
did.
Josh,
Yeah.
if we don't finish this project, we'd have a totaled car.
Yeah. Josh, writing this story, like, is it, inspired by true events? Is it stuff that you've seen around? Is it people that you actually knew? Like, how did the story all come together with these characters? Because, they're very real, they're very raw, but they're also very flawed. And it's not like you wrote about kids that you didn't know. It's like you wrote about people that you grew up with.
Yeah, no, you nailed it on. You nailed it on the nail. So that was like basically, I wanted to make sure when I was writing this, because I was a videographer for a few years, and I got to really just work with models and artists in general, taking photos or videos, and I got to really know people as themselves. And to me, I think that when you have someone that just wants to chase their dreams as no matter what, no, I think they deserve a story as well. And yes, so like most of the things that we had in the film was actually based off of real experiences that we had at FTC or Horticulture at the Union House. So, for example, I know a friend who made 3D printed guns. I know of friends that were trying to sell their art in order to survive, whether it was eating for gas, for drugs, right? So I think that what I want to do is just, again, I wanted to give a voice to kind of like the voiceless of our Vegas community, because I think that at the end of the day, we have so many talented individuals here. There's no reason to not give them a chance or a platform. So I want to make sure I can give them a film that represents the kids that are really from here.
Right.
To, to,
I'm sorry,
to
go
cite,
ahead.
to cite a specific example in the film, there's a moment where Tiana and Trey are arguing, and Tiana's like, no one's going to give a shit about shirts we sell in the arts district. And Trey goes, well, I made more money off of this than your fucking podcast. That's a literal conversation that we had at Union House 4 years ago, bitching at each other about, how are we going to make money off of this? Like, how are we going to be artists and still, be able to pay the bills?
Right. That's interesting because those are real life conversations, and I'm glad that stuff like that gets in there. Something, especially with Tiana and Trey, like Trey still remains somewhat hopeful, even though he's like beaten down by what's happened. And it seems, the way you wrote it, like Tiana has lost all hope and she's just treading water, trying not to drown in anything in any way to get out of Vegas. And that's an interesting dichotomy between the two siblings.
Yeah, I feel like in this generation, especially whether it's the war or recession or tariffs, I think that there are a lot of young kids that are in survival mode. And Tiana is in a survival mode of just like, I'm just trying to scrape by. I don't even know what to believe in anymore. I just know I have another day to wake up to. Where her brother was more trying to carry her through the film, saying, no, we got this. It's going to be okay. Kind of like her angel on the shoulder or her guardian, just making sure like, hey, like no matter what, do not give up on yourself. That's the most important thing. If you say you're going to do something, make sure you follow through with it. And that was kind of like the backbone for Tiana to, okay, we can do this together. I can do this. I can actually make this happen. And that was the brother sister dynamic I was aiming for when we shot the film.
Right. And you pulled it off. I mean, what you did in an hour and a half with 7 days, extremely limited budget, dude, people are going to take notice.
I appreciate that. It was one of those things where like I had to. So like Rex said, my main actress was not originally Candace Joy, and thank goodness that she came through and she did an amazing performance. But the original Candace, or sorry, the original Tiana had dropped out a month band, and I was at my day job when that happened, and I got the text. I said, "Okay, I have to fix this film, or I have to go back." Boss's office. I said, "Hey, today's my last day. I have to go focus." I made a post, and somehow, some way, it found our lead actress Candace Joy, and it just all came together. So I had to make sure like I have to give up or sacrifice, what I want for what I really want, and that's why the story is kind of like based off of almost my own experience, which is like, okay, I understand what it's like to give up what you need to in order to get where you want to go.
And we did bed, borrow, and steal to get this project done, man. We got extremely lucky with everyone that worked with us. Big shout out to Taverna Costera, the venue that you see at the final film, the rooftop bar. We found them after another venue had backed out. We got extremely lucky with Legendary's paint shop where the robbery occurs because we made a mess in there, and they looked around and they said, "You know what? It's cool. We don't paint anyway." So we got really lucky, man. Yeah, really lucky with everyone, man. The truck that they drive was our villain's then girlfriend's dad's car that we got to borrow for the day. We didn't even have a true a car wrangler or anything like that. So it was by the grace of God that we got this project.
Also,
Keep going.
fun fact, RC, real quick, that the sex scene between Vanessa and Trey,
Mhm.
her mom was there on set and she was the one that slated it. So it was just a little fun little tidbit.
It's hilarious.
That's always interesting. When you got to go that far in front of your parents. You know, uh, but
It was fun. It was a safe set.
right, but it's not a graphic scene. There's not graphic violence. It's all story based, and that's something that people will be excited to see because the characters are real. It's raw, and it's all character driven. It's not special effects driven. It's not gore driven. It's not sexually driven. It's just legitimately driven by character.
Yes. And it comes back to like you said about Clerks, like that when I watched Clerks, it was just about the characters and the conversations with the characters. And I like to think of Vegas as almost the Jersey of LA. Like that, like
It
Vegas is
really
just
is.
dirt, it's just dirty Vegas. It's just fun, and just like we really don't we have a wild Western mindset of like how we're gonna get things done and how we're gonna talk to each other and how we're gonna make it together. Like even if we don't like each other, we will support each other. It's really interesting.
How has the Vegas scene reacted to the film? Because you've obviously shown it a little bit in Vegas, and showing it to people around town is completely different than what we're going to see in San Antonio. San Antonio 31st anniversary for their film festival, great film festival. Adam has outdone himself every year, but we're now taking Vegas to Texas. Like, what are you looking forward to in seeing a Texas reaction versus what you've already gotten in Las Vegas?
So let me take this one. We got really, really, really lucky with the reception because it was such a community-driven project. Like all the extras that were involved were, help promoting the film. Every actor was extremely well in promoting. We got lucky back in November. We did a showing at one of the art house theaters downtown called the Beverly Theater, and we managed to pull off a 500-person screening for a 220-person venue. So it was actually crazy. We had to do two back-to-back showings just to get people in the door. And since then, I feel like the response has been incredible in Vegas. Um, More filmmakers are like getting this drive from it. I feel like Josh has a really good point on like how we've been able to kind of like break through this like miniature glass ceiling that indie filmmakers have right now. You want to touch on that, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, it was at the end of the day, it's a story. It's your friends. It's a lot of favors. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and it's a miracle to make a movie. Well, it was an experiment at the end of the day. We wanted to see if we could do it. My whole thing is that I wanted to have my first feature-length film at 27, so that's why I saved up for 3 years, starting at 24. And I was like, all right, at 27, I'm going to shoot my film because I don't know, my favorite movie is Jaws, from Steven Spielberg, and he made that 27. And I wanted to just kind of like give back to the art of just like, okay, let's see what we can do. Let's see how we can make it happen. If we make mistakes, that's okay. We're going to learn from anyways. And the whole point of being to make movies is to just enjoy the experience. You know, we're not here making rocket science. We're just telling an amazing story as the best way we can.
And seeing us have the opportunity to showcase in Texas is going to be really incredible. I feel like Vegas has, welcomed us in with like open arms, but it's also a movie about Vegas. So having the opportunity to showcase our culture beyond the casinos, beyond the mafia in a different city is going to be incredible. We've gotten extremely lucky at other film festivals. And we did actually win an award for a Vegas Indie Film Festival, which was really cool. But yeah, no, it's going to be very exciting to see how the city will embrace our culture and see if we're fun enough for Texas.
You mentioned, Josh, that Las Vegas is kind of the New Jersey to LA, which is hilarious in that fact because Netflix and Lionsgate are opening up production in New Jersey, and Warner Brothers and Sony are creating a combined studio in Vegas. What does that do to the film scene, for the indie film scene that the big boys are coming to town now?
It's extremely exciting. I think it's going to give a lot of opportunities to a lot of local filmmakers out here, and I think that's the whole point of it. Obviously, we want to make sure that these production companies are hiring locals first as much as they possibly can, and not really just bringing outside talent into our city. We want to make sure that we can use the talent we already have here, like I said before, because we have so much of it. And I hope that I just hope that we get more Vegas stories that are like First Friday, that isn't just about the strip, but like you said earlier, about just characters and a story, and just like we don't want to make necessarily a Vegas film. We want to make a film at the end of the day, one that speaks to everyone.
Yeah, seeing the big studios come in is exciting, but at the end of the day, like we did it without a studio, and we encourage every filmmaker to try and bootstrap it as much as they can. If you wait for the big studios to come and save you, nothing's gonna happen.
Right. And you guys did it, and no one can take that away from you. How many people say they want to write a script and haven't? How many people say they want to make a movie and haven't? You guys pulled it off with a limited budget, and now you have an incredible reel of going, here, this is what I can do with X amount of dollars. Let's see what happens when you finance us with a bigger budget. So long as it doesn't go Blair Witch to Blair Witch 2, where they just totally destroyed that film.
Yeah, or more like let's try to do like
even
Terrifier 2.
Right. Or I was going to say Joker and Joker 2, where they went from 50 million to 200 million in total difference. Yeah.
We just want to change the world. At the end of the RC.
Yeah. No, man. Like, what is a landmark for Vegas that you guys wanted to get, but like it didn't fit the shot or it didn't fit the story? That like, oh, this is kind of cool and we want to use this, but it doesn't fit this part of the film, so this isn't a great backdrop for it.
I got one that comes to mind, Josh.
That's a great question. Yes.
It's
which one?
It's that sphere shot, bro. We wanted to get a shot from the monorail facing towards the sphere.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Also, we wanted to get a shot where they were kind of like hiding bodies in Lake Mead, just to like show there's still bodies in Lake Mead. But that's also like, all right, hold on. That was a little rough. That was a little rough to get.
Right.
That was like the first one cut from the script. That was a heartbreaker.
But no, I mean, what you guys did, even having just the pinball museum in the background for a scene was great, because I think, didn't they just move it to the strip not too long ago? So it's like right off or it's on Las Vegas Boulevard at least.
Yeah. It's right by the sign, right by that big sign.
Yes.
We got
we got really lucky with that. They just opened like 6 months prior to that. And luckily they're a nonprofit organization, a charity as well. So they were really okay with us coming and shooting, as long as we're outside and just obeying the rules, and we were. So it was just a fun time, and we were just really excited to work with the owners, with not just their business, but all the local businesses. We want to make sure we only work with local Vegas businesses that we know, so that way we can show off that hey, they're supporting us too, and we're just really thankful for that.
All right, I'm gonna leave you guys with this, since California and Vegas, like you said, New York, New Jersey type deal. We come to town all the time. What's a local restaurant that we need to go to where we're like, all right, this is definitively Las Vegas, you know, typically locals only, but, you know, outsiders are welcome?
That's tough. That's tough, man. There's a bunch, bro. There's
Roberto's
a
Taco Shop.
The Burroughs
Which
Taco
one?
Shop? Okay.
They got that in LA, bro.
Go to
Come on.
Roberto's. Roberto's Taco Shop. It's 24 hours, 24/7. It doesn't matter what time of the day you're partying. You're gonna go there. You're gonna have some carne asada fries. You're gonna have a great time.
All right.
That's why Josh. That's why Josh, a director and a visionary. I'm thinking more of a higher end. Definitely got to check out Herbs and Rye. Great steaks, great cocktails. Probably 2 miles off the strip, or yeah, if you end up there, or 2 blocks over, they got hot and juicy crawfish, always a banger.
Nice.
So
Yeah. Every time I'm in town for breakfast, I got to go to Blueberry Hill.
oh, you can't go wrong, bro. That's real local stuff, bro. Come on.
No, because like they have the best.
You go
ours-
go put $20 in a black for breakfast.
They do have the. Hey, by the way, we're huge fans of Fanboy Nation. Thank you again for even giving us the opportunity to give 2 local Vegas boys just a chance to talk to you is an honor.
Well, thank you for talking to me, man.
We
because
don't
you
get a
guys
lot
made
of
a great film.
Like I said, everyone wants to. No, I appreciate you because everyone looks for outside of Vegas, and instead you're giving us a chance. You're giving us 2 indie filmmakers a chance, and that's the whole reason why we do it. We just want to inspire other kids that hey, these 2 numbskulls can do it. So can I? And so that's our whole reason of doing it.
Well, listen, man, you guys made an incredible film. Congratulations. You know, first go around, which most people can't pull off, and you guys did it. So congratulations on all fronts with that.
And we appreciate it, man. Appreciate the conversation, man. And thank you for watching the movie at all, bro. It's so dope.
Absolutely. Where can we find you guys on social media if we want to connect
really,
about
thank
First
you.
Friday?
We have a movie page, First Friday Movie, at First Friday Movie. You can find Josh at Half Mutant Films, and then I go by Rex from Vegas. You can come follow our adventures, man. We're doing it all.
Nice, man. And next time I come to town, we got to go to an Aviators game.
Oh, dude, come to a soccer game, bro. I'm the announcer for the Las Vegas Lights.
Oh, say
serious?
less.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
come by, man.
Yeah, because I announced for a couple
We'll
of
get you a
like, are
suite
you
at
play-by-play
RC,
or
we
are
got
you PA?
I'm PA, but
Okay.
I'm like they got me on the field. I'm like a glorified mascot, bro. I run around all halftime. I'm screaming in the mic, hyping up the people. It's a good
Awesome.
time, bro.
Yeah, no, because I work PA as well out here in a couple of colleges.
Hey, shout out.
Nice, man. Yeah, next time I'm in town, soccer season, I'll come
Game
cruise up.
respects game.
Yeah.
Yes, man.
You
Hell
know,
yeah, bro.
and we got a Hispanic guy and a Middle Eastern guy, so soccer's already there. It's in the blood. Yeah.
Bro, I can't wait to same goal, bro. It's gonna be lit.
All right, man. Listen, I really.
Let's go.
Listen, let's remind everybody,
Awesome.
First Friday, San Antonio Film Festival. It is going to be Friday, July 25th, 7 p.m. at the Radius Center, 106 Auditorium Circle, San Antonio, Texas. It's going to be local time. Come out, have a great time. Check out an incredible indie film that was made on not even a shoestring budget. Like, this is a thread hanging off that's raveled from a t-shirt that you love, because that's how they were able to pull this off. Incredible film, guys. Congratulations. Can't wait to hang out with you in Texas, and definitely when I come back to Vegas.
Absolutely, man. Definitely got to do some Texas shooters. I don't know what they drink out there, but we drinking
All right.
rattlesnake venom.
Man, I'll watch you with that one.
Vegas is coming to the Alamo. Let's go. We're gonna party, RC. I got you.